As if Warner Brothers wasn't in enough turmoil, now you can just throw the DC studios. Failure to perform is probably a chief reason as to why so many things are up for sale and potentially even piecemeal at this point. But Superman's streaming ratings, yes, worse than Captain America. We're talking Brave New World here, which is hilarious in and of itself. And probably one that's a little bit more damning to James Gunn's vision, Black Adam, bro, in the first 3 days, but outpaces the competition in daily average viewership. Hey guys, don't worry about it. It's the tallest midget at this point in time, but how does it fare against other points of comparison, other equally popular films like Check's Notes? Black Adam? Yeah, it doesn't fare so good. And in the case of Black Adam, it fares considerably worse. If you've listened to the Hollywood Access Media this week, you'd think that Superman has taken flight in streaming ratings. Yes, of course. Headlines are praised its debut on HBO Max, highlighting how the reboot soared to number 4 on the Nielsen Top 10 movie charts during its first 3 days of release. But a closer look tells a more complicated story. The numbers reveal a debut that is both promising and precarious. Strong initial turnout, but a worrying lack of interest compared to similar superhero releases. While Superhero outperformed competitors like Disney's Leo and K-pop Demon Hunters on a daily average basis, it still trailed notorious superhero bombs like Captain Black, Falcon, America Man, and even Black Adam. Oof. And yeah, by the way, hey, something eventually had to beat K-pop Demon Hunters because that shit has been out there on streaming since, May or June. But hey, Superman ended up beating the biggest bomb in Pixar history. So hey, here's a little gold star there, little guy. But yes, take a look at those numbers right there. And K-pop Demon Hunters actually beat the day, huh? Or ended up winning the day. Quite handily, in fact. And so did, yes, Ice Road, Vengeance, Leo. Oh, okay. And then you got Superman right there. But hey, it did better than Lilo and Stitch. Hey, there you go. According to Nielsen's report for September 15th, September 15th through the 21st. Okay, Superman generated 513 million minutes of viewing time, enough to take number 4 spot among streaming movies. However, it failed to crack Nielsen's overall top 10, a list that includes both movies and television. So that means that Superman didn't crash, but it didn't exactly soar either, because yeah, 513 million minutes, that's a pretty decent number, especially when we've been talking about such hilarious performers on the TV side of life, racking up 350 million minutes watched. That would be like for, your Marvel series, and definitely not Peacemaker. It tried to get that high, but little buddy ended up missing out on that party. That means, they didn't crash, didn't soar, and the film meant to launch an entire cinematic universe. Good, but not great. For context, yes, Captain America Brave New World debuted at 750 million minutes over 4 days, and Thunderbolts reached 702 million in 5 days. Yes, both clearing across Nielsen's overall and movie lists. Oh, shit. And yeah, look at those numbers. 750 over 4, 702 for Thunderbolts. The best and most obvious example of Marvel's commitment to quality over quantity. I'm never going to let that one go, because who talks fondly about the Thunderbolts 6 months after release? That whole media hype cycle, okay, that analysis, it's just aged like fine wine. Everybody loves it for the first week, okay? They continue to defend it ad nauseum until a month or two passes, and then they finally start to give their honest opinion on the movie about 6 months later. Anywho, while these results were measured in a longer period than Superman tracked ratings, the average per day viewership, Superman still lags behind Brave New World. Ooh, that's tough, man. Math is hard to ignore. Gunn's Superman pulled in 171 million minutes per day compared to 187 million for Brave New World. Considering that Superman dropped on a Friday, it's a weekend spike, almost certainly fell off during the work week, yes, suggesting that its average declined further beyond Nielsen's 3-day window. Thunderbolts averaged 140 million minutes daily, meaning James Gunn's Superman actually performed better than a group of super soldiers. We have gun, we shoot and we punch things. A group of Marvel's veritable who's that against the most recognizable superhero of all time. Bro, what are we doing? though yes, fewer total minutes since it only had 3 to 4 day comparison. But yes, beaten by Black Adam. Yeah, here's where the hurt comes down. The most damning comparison comes out of, yes, the DC itself. Nielsen previously reported that Black Adam scored 632 million minutes during its first 3. Oh shit, this is an apples to apples comparison. First 3 days on HBO Max, a much stronger start than Gunn's Superman. Yes, despite Black Adam being written off by many outlets as a failure, justifiably so. Like, it failed to make its budget back. Oh, interesting. There's far more parallels to draw here with Superman than I could really think about. It was supposed to be the start of a new DC universe. Oh shit. And it had a big egotistical name attached to it in the form of The Rock. Oh shit, James Gunn's on life support right now. And yet, one is heralded as one of the greatest successes of the year, and the other one was rightly appraised as a bomb. What's the difference here? But that's right, the film A Gunn's Camp, once mocked as a flop, outperformed his flagship reboot by over 100 million minutes. It's worth remembering that Gunn was appointed co-chief of DC Studios in late 2022. It happened during Black Adam's theatrical stumble. Now the turntables have turned tables. The streaming numbers suggest Johnson's film may have resonated more with audiences than Gunn's heavily marketed reset. Because here's the thing, the public's perception of Superman has gone down with its streaming availability. I've seen more posts and I've seen more admissions that, ooh shit, that actually wasn't that good in comparison to Black Adam, when he had people saying, I didn't even go to the theater to see that, but you know what? Hey man, Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate is actually pretty goddamn good. There were tangible things to praise in Black Adam. Meanwhile, over there for Superman, there's like nothing to praise outside of the superficial. Yeah, David Cornsweet seems nice. I like Nicholas Hoult as an actor. Mr. Terrific was good, but okay, cool. If that's your biggest takeaway, the sidest of side characters is the best thing about your Superman movie in comparison to Dr. Fate, who was pretty much the co-lead with Black Adam, having a standout performance. But yeah, Black Adam's global box office was only $393 million. The Superman made $614 million with the domestic, bro. Shut the fuck up. Still lost money. Forbes admitted it lost like $40 million, and when you end up running the numbers on that lowball bullshit, they're going to end up being even worse than that when you factor in what they're not telling you. He's seen the Ohio tax documents. We know that bitch cost north of $350 million. When we eventually do get confirmation, when the access media is done sweeping for this fucking white-haired fruit, then shit's really going to start crashing down, and it's really going to start hurting inside. James Gunn has lost the DC audience. To be fair, did he even have it to begin with? Now what? I'll tell you what. Warner Brothers is going to get sold off, or DC Studios could end up going over to an interested buyer, and James, you can spool your shit and fuck off. The excitement around James Gunn's DCU is gone. What began as a promised fresh start for DC on film has turned into another messy chapter that fans are walking away from. After Superman underperformed and Peacemaker Season 2 barely registered, oh man, everybody is still talking about that fantastic, setup for Checkmate, and oh my god, the Salvation story arc that they're going to be, potentially adapting for Man of Tomorrow. I just can't wait for... Yeah, no, see, that's the general reaction from audiences at this point in time. Nobody gives a fuck what's going on. The Superman family reboot was meant to symbolize hope, but the fan base that once rooted for Gunn seems to have checked out entirely. Oh no, it's not just about box office numbers, it's about trust. Fans have seen too many resets, too many empty promises, and too many mixed messages about what counts as canon. The Batman and Joker still exist in their own universes. The old Snyder era characters are gone, unless of course, James Gunn can use them as a cock holster, or he's related to them by blood. Yeah, except for the ones, Gunn choose to keep, mainly the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. His wife and brother are front and center in every project, and yes, he has this, cast of characters that he likes to cast in every fucking project as well. You take the good, Nathan Fillion, and then you also take the bad, Sean Gunn, and you get your classic James Gunn project. And the goofy, humor first tone that doesn't fit Superman, Batman, or Wonder Woman. But, oh boy, he sure is fuck gonna try that. Especially with all of this ill will going on right now, I think it's gonna be very short order. I would imagine by the end of the year, we're gonna get a live action Batman announcement right now. Even if that movie, even if that project never comes to fruition. Even casual viewers are confused. Is this a reboot, remix? Nobody seems sure. And worse, few care anymore. Yes, everybody's picking up on the Black Adam comparisons, meaning like, you know what? Never thought you'd ever have a favorable comparison to Black Adam, but all it took for it, let me just go ahead and check my notes again. All right, a Superman movie to come along to go and make that dumpster fire look better, but strange times, man. Strange time indeed. So yes, if Gunn is in fact on his way out, what comes next? One scenario sees a Mike DeLuca, the film's executive, yes, who discovered Blade Runner, David Goyer, oh shit, and built the Conjuring franchise, and regrettably also worked, hand in glove with Zack Snyder on a lot of his shit, taking the reins. He's seen as a director friendly and focused on storytelling, not self-promotion. Fans also have been calling for Zack Snyder to return for a Dark Knight Returns. Oh, shut up. God, Snyder Bros are as ardent in their support for their favorite creator, that's as far as I'll go on this one, as Gunn's Gooners, but their taste is of similar quality. But it's one DC story Snyder said yes, he'd come back for. Well, he'd come back for a paycheck at this point in time because Netflix isn't necessarily enticed to cut another one for another fucking Rebel Moon movie. So, yeah, anyways. And one that could reconnect the audience that's abandoned Gunn's super family experiment. Snyder recently became active on Instagram, teasing Henry Cavill as Superman, which set the internet on fire. And yeah, then we got the reports a little later on that Netflix is looking to buy certain assets from the Warner Brothers Discovery sale, and especially if they start to kick the tires on DC. Oh my god, this fucking restore the Snyderverse bullshit is going to start to go into overdrive, and fucking James Gunn is going to look even more pathetic than he already does. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.